Yeah, we overlapped at some point. Scary. Oh, yeah. You know, right from, I thought it was the same years, not part of my paddles under the guys that was now you're banner being in charge city, or in charge city. But you have, I'm working, well, it's already been done for Huntington.
Well, at some point, it was like RBS was so big that were, everybody was starting there out of school, you know, it was like everybody did some time in RBS. It was like between RBS, Huntaker and Stanford, you know, or peak companies, I guess.
Right.
What did you work on for? Before here, I was in the line for 12 years. Couple years with them, but then my time in private was a good part of it. Something big transportation, more California work. Yeah, seriously. And how people out of me because it's about lying, you know, and like, yeah, you start getting in here, there's so many, right? Yeah, it's just like, it's a lot more detailed. Yeah. Yes.
It were a lot of different paths to it. Hopefully just working state.
Yeah. But that's interesting thing.
I think these things converse.
Like, so you do everything yourself versus like, never mind, there's a division that does. That group does that, and that really, it's like here, that's the whole thing that starts. Which is good, you know, anytime you know, it's you own it from start to finish. Where like, you know, when I was in San Antonio, you had a design group and a construction group, and it was always, you're the ones that get I should not really things to me. No, that's but you know, I know that. So here it's like, hey, we just own it. Really, that's what it is. We messed up, let's fix it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's I see. It's
Yeah.
It's the great part.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's just so you're in the stuff, you know, actual dollar.
Get started.
Yeah.
Who you work with, you know, like. I sat on an interview because of the relationship, so I was sending that direct back, so we didn't practice. Well, he started, you know, years ago.
Yeah. If you engage to now have it under consideration. Sure.
Yeah, so we work with Alex, so. Salazar.
You're not so much. I mean, so people say that I was here on your other. Steve Terrell. Please. You got it.
Mid to late nineties.
And I wonder.
Great parts, which.
How you do, so it's fine.
Ideas, and so they're just stuff. They're still.
Well, it's funny because when I started with Irvine, so that was. Oh, right on it, I was thinking like the meetings, you know, here, it was going crazy, that's about, you know, and all that stuff, and I remember, you know, they were talking about that, like. 25 years before this thing, you know, so now Phoenix is like, it's not far out. It's 20, like. It's getting close.
Yeah, that's probably. You said, and also getting the estimate.
Like,
So we're here earlier.
it's funny because. Back then, it was like Destiny's. Now,
Alex, I think we're pictures that have.
No.
For the urban core.
Bad bucks.
That was me. The voice, not the.
30. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting of the Laguna Beach City Council. Madam City Clerk, could we do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Jones. Here. Councilmember Kemp. Here. Councilmember Whalen, Mayor Pro Tem Orgill,
Here.
Mayor Renagi.
Here, and then I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand and put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so this is a special meeting of the Laguna Beach City Council, so we're not going to take general public comment. What we're going to do now is consider the one item that we have on the agenda, which is item C, award of task orders for the design of the permanent promenade on Forest. And then why don't we go to the Madam City Attorney, or actually we'll get a staff report and then go from there. This would typically be on the consent calendar, so it should be a quick staff report.
There we go. Good evening, Mayor and fellow City Council members. I'm Tom Perez, a City Engineer, and presenting to you tonight regarding the award of task orders for the design of the permanent promenade on Forest. Brief background, not going too far back, but in June of this year, the City Council approved the design review and coastal development permits for the permanent promenade and also adopted the Slow Street Resolution. Following that action in July, there was an appeal filed to the Coastal Commission, and the Coastal Commission then heard that appeal on August 15th. And at that hearing, the Coastal Commission found no substantial issue with the approved project. So with that, the staff is now bringing forward the design task orders with SWA and SOMAS. And so, as I mentioned, the City Council took an action that was subsequently appealed. So in order to keep momentum on the project, we identified work that was low risk as far as not being subject to change depending on how the appeal went. So we awarded a task order to SWA for roughly $70,000 to proceed with schematic design, and with SOMAS for a little over $52,000 to do some additional topographic surveys, further utility research, and to create the draft WQMP for the project. So following the Coastal Commission's action, we then went back to the original proposal that included the full scope of work. So for SWA's landscape architecture services in the amount of $348,500, that's a total not to exceed. So that absorbs the previous amount that was authorized. And that includes landscape architecture services for, designing the decorative pavement, landscape walls, railings, other site elements, planting and irrigation, site furnishing, the water feature that is included with the project, all of the low voltage electrical and lighting and audiovisual, and their scope of work also includes construction support when we get to that point of the project. With SOMAS, their services include professional engineering services for a total not to exceed amount of $232,750. That includes the supplemental topography that I mentioned, utility coordination, the floodplain permit, which was one of the major items previously discussed. Then final construction drawings, a constructability review, engineers' estimates, project specifications, and processing of the Caltrans encroachment permit for the portion of the project along Coast Highway. So with that, the recommended actions here tonight are to approve a task order amendment to SWA Group for a total not to exceed amount of $348,500 for landscape architecture design, and to also authorize the city manager to approve change orders not to exceed amount of $35,000. And similarly, to approve a task order amendment to Somas Engineering for a total not to exceed amount of $232,750 for final civil engineering drawings. And to also authorize the city manager to approve change orders in an amount not to exceed $23,000. And to finally, to find that the proposed action is statutorily exempt under the California Environmental Quality Act because we are, this action is implementing the previously approved Promenade on Forest project. And with that, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions of staff?
Yeah, I just have a question. Hey, Tom, on this page 4 or 5 where the first paragraph, what talks about the final design will begin immediately with the goal to be completed in December 2025. Is that kind of late or, I mean, can we do that any quicker?
That date is based off of the timelines that were in the proposals, and that was one of the reasons we did want to have some of the work proceed prior to the Coastal Commission's actions. So that I would say is the conservative date, but we're making every effort to shorten those timelines. And so in addition to shortening the design, we're also as part of the design process looking at how we shorten the construction period. So we're looking at every possible avenue.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? No, and okay, so then I think if we don't have any further questions, then let's take comment on this item, on comment on the contracts that are before us. So we will open public comment, and each of you have 3 minutes to provide your remarks.
And Christoph, I imagine that you're going to approve all this, just the way he's presented it. I just wanted to point out to you that the way this used to be done, or the way that it's normally done, is when there's a big project like this, they send out RFPs. We look at the RFPs in the public hearing, and then it gets sent out, and there are a number of firms that competitively bid on the scope of services in the RFP. In this case, SWA got this job because they were asked to come in and do preliminary studies when there was a problem with the first consultant who prepared some alternatives that weren't acceptable. And so they just eased into this fairly substantial contract without ever competing with any other firms to do this scope of work or to examine the scope of work for this project. So that, I think, is beyond what is normally done when you have a project that's for the city of Laguna Beach that is a major public project. When we did the village entrance, they had a competition of 4 different teams to find out which team the council and the public wanted to be hired. So this is not the usual approach to choosing consultants. And in this case, the Somas was also just thrown in to do the 25-year flood study. And did they compete with anyone else to do this job? Apparently not. So that is a concern. My other concern is, will the public see interim progress drawings as this design as it develops? Typically, there's design development that comes next. What they've done now is preliminary. I mean, this is going to be a big result, a big project that's very important to the community. And when it's finished, say they finish it in December, which would be a real push, I think, with a project like this, then that's what we got, and no one has seen, you saw the little sculpture detail this focal point, this funny little pyramid thing, which they say is going to be developed into something else. Well, what is the something else that it's going to be developed into? It seems to me public needs to be able to review the design development and other phases of this work. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Next speaker, please.
Hi, Pat Mena. I just was here, had no idea this was going off, so I might as well throw it into the wind. You're setting precedents with the course of how you're proceeding with this. I think of each of one of you as having a fiduciary responsibility. I have a fiduciary responsibility in my professional business and career. I think you are lacking proper notice, but proper, truly, public awareness and partnership. I'm disappointed. Here's what I'm going to say. We have not been given a budget for this. Now we see, what, $600,000. It wasn't put out to bid, I understand, because your timeline is ramming it home. And so when you get this in December, will we have an input about that? Because it needs to be, but it's really about the budget. I don't know how we as a city are going to pay for all these projects that are all in the wind right now. Taking over Coast Highway, the promenade, how many other parking things. You know, I just want to live here in my retirement years without having a bond floated on my taxes because of irresponsibility. I think you have a fiduciary responsibility to your voters, and I think you're ramming this home. And we've never been given a budget, and I think that's critical because I think we need to pick and choose, especially with some safety measures, whether it's the sewer systems that are aging, that we keep having spills into the ocean, maybe some fire mitigation that tops a pleasurable walk down a promenade. So that's my 2 cents worth. Would love to see a budget, would still like to have the public have some input. I, for one, really feel that you've rammed it home, and I'm sad. I'm sad. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next speaker, please.
Yeah, I'm not really prepared to say too much tonight because I just heard about this 5 minutes ago. I would just reiterate what my last two speakers just said, not my speakers, your speakers. But let me just add from an internal controls perspective, this is not the first time we've put something out we've issued contracts without putting them out to bid. And that is a very dangerous path to go down. You're spending taxpayer money. You should be getting the best quality, the best price for what you're doing. And the way to confirm that is to use competitive bidding. And there's no reason not to use it here. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi there, Edward Beck, 35-year resident of California, 32 resident of Laguna Beach. I have a package for each of you. There's just 2 items in the package. The first one is from Bob Whalen. He signed it during COVID. I was a landlord for SWA for 12 years, owned the building for 22 years. The other 2 items, I followed Bob Whalen's direction as mayor. And the other 2 items of information, you should read through it before you vote tonight. As these women just spoke about RFPs and doing things properly, I know the background of SWA as a landlord for 12 years, a resident of 32 years, and I just feel I followed Bob Whalen's procedure. I provided all my tenants with that letter that was signed by the council, by the mayor, and there's some historical history in the package you should read before you vote tonight about spending city money. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other speakers? No, no, any final public speakers on this item? If not, we will, Ruben, you're good? Okay, okay.
Ruben Flores, 30-year resident of Laguna Beach. The totality of the monies spent with them so far is way beyond what should be spent on a small little project. It's only that one stretch. They have all the documentation in their computers. For them to ask for more money for more design is pretty egregious. As the project proceeds, there's going to be redesigning that happens. And really, this is just a redesign. The monies that they're asking for is too much. And as a resident of Laguna Beach, they should be looking to support the plan that the city requests them to do with the monies that they've already received. It's not that big a deal. It's one little stretch. If we're going to go through with this, as it seems that we are, it should be done 100% open to all of the residents as far as transparency. We still haven't gotten a lot of the elements handled that are so important to its success as far as drainage and 100-year storm. And so really we need to take a stronger look at just doling out some more money for something that's going to have to be redesigned and redesigned. So I would caution what we do to say yes at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other speakers. Let's close, unless anyone else wants to speak. I don't see any. Okay, we're going to close public comment. Let's bring it back to the council. Any further questions of staff? And if not, we can start comments. No questions. Somebody want to start?
I'm interested in understanding a little bit more about the process after tonight, between tonight and December. Tom, can you talk a little bit about those opportunities potentially for public engagement?
Yes, so the process from this point forward is really to develop the design that was approved. So the intent is that we would adhere strictly to the parameters. So for instance, the type of pavement, the bricks, the DG, those previous approvals set the groundwork. So now really the scope of work we're talking about is going to be, it's intended to be more technical. So making sure that it's constructible, preparing that floodplain study, electrical design. So it's a lot of the technical work. Our plan right now is to have team meetings, design team meetings every 2 weeks from here on out to really track progress and how we move forward. As far as public engagement, that's typically not in the final design phase because the concept is already set, but that's something we would be open to if directed.
I have a suggestion in that regard, and I mean, after Councilmember Jones. What about whenever we get a plan update, we put it on the website and we notify interested parties, folks, and they can comment on that plan update. So those are public records as soon as they're given to us. And we do want to make that page an active page, the promenade page, so people can stay abreast of it. And then anyone here or anyone in town is welcome to offer their comments. That sound okay?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good. For further comments? Does anyone have a motion?
You do here.
Just move the recommended action. I'll move the recommended actions. Is there a second?
Mark, do you have any questions?
No.
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Councilmember Kempf. It looks like there's no discussion on this motion, so I would, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? I don't hear any, so passes 4-0. And so thank you, Tom, for the presentation. Thank you to the public who participated, and I will will adjourn the meeting until our next regularly scheduled city council meeting, which is September 23rd, with the study session starting at 3 p.m. So thank you, everyone.